Welcome to the Makeover Your Mindset podcast. I'm Cassie McKenzie. Think of me as your BFF for manifestation and high vibe mindset makeovers. It's my personal mission to turn your inspiration into action so you can be, do, and have everything you've ever dreamed of having in life. This podcast will focus a ton on creating fulfilling relationships with money, friends, and soulmates, and inspire you to have fun so you can live the most extraordinary life you've ever imagined. If you're ready to take to the next step, then you've come to the right place. Thanks again for joining me. Now let's begin. Hi everyone, I am back. It's Cassie McKenzie from makeoveryourmindset.com. Hi Instagram, it's Cassie from makeoveryourmindset.com. I'm live on Facebook too, and I'm coming on today to tell you all about my top 5 favorite, I guess it looks like 10, 5 favorite ways to make money your boyfriend right now. So, the big question I get, I've been getting a lot of questions actually about my course that I'm launching this week. If you haven't heard, Make Over Your Mindset and about Make Over Your Mindset and Money is Your Boyfriend, that's my course on how to manifest money and create a new money mindset that's based off of it actually being a real human that you interact with in life. And so it's really helped reframe my whole money mindset and make me who I am today. And it's so much fun. I really love it. It's my favorite thing ever to talk about. So I wanted to hop on today to give you sort of a taste of it and tell you about my top 5 ways to make money your boyfriend right now. Like, why wait for the course? You can go ahead and start today. So hi guys, how's it going? So I am just going to go through my top favorite ways. The first way that I started reframing my relationship with money is to watch how I was talking about it. So watching the words that you use around money is my, I think, biggest piece of advice and like the best place to start, right? So a lot of times we don't even realize how we are speaking about money and speaking about these things, right? You know, you might get a bill or go to check the mail and say, I don't want to go check the mail because there's probably bills there. Or, gosh, I wish this, late fee didn't hit. Or I just don't have enough money to pay the bills, or whatever the case may be. And there's never enough money to go around, and rich people are really crazy and there's no way that I would do anything bad. So I'm never going to be one of those people that has a lot of money because obviously they had to do something bad, right? I don't know if any of these resonate with you personally, but I hear them all the time, and especially day in and day out when I'm actually talking to people who are struggling financially and maybe working paycheck to paycheck and still not paying their bills. And it seems to be an endless cycle that is hard to get out of if you're in that position and you're not equipped with a way to start looking at money differently and to start looking at it from a place of, this is an energetic exchange that I can actually help, build a foundation for my life, and I'm actually paying for things, and I get to pay for things to make my life easier versus having to pay for bills. I mean, think about your life for a minute. So let's take your electricity bill. You can either pay your electricity bill and be happy that you get to pay it, or you could sit and try to deal with living by candlelight for the next month and see how far that gets you, because you wouldn't have any internet since that usually runs off electricity, right? You wouldn't have any way to even light your phone or charge your phone because that needs energy, which means you couldn't talk to anybody and unless you talk to them in person. And oh my God, who wants to do that? I'm just kidding. Anyway, you see where I'm going with this, right? Like, we can choose to be like bitter about the fact that we have to, we get to pay bills here and there, or we can celebrate them and celebrate the fact that, hey, we get to do this and we get to have these luxuries in our life, and we didn't even have to, we didn't even have to be the ones to think about how to put that thing together. Like, I don't know about you, but if the world was depending on me to develop a light bulb, then they'd still be sitting by candlelight. I'll be honest. So That would be my number one. The first thing that you can do, watch the words you use when you're talking about money. Talk about it positively. Say, I get to do this. People get to do this. And, I always have more than enough. And one of my favorite things to say is, especially if there's like an unexpected expense that comes up, is to say like, okay, well, this just means that there is a bigger amount of money coming my way, because I wouldn't have to pay this money out if it didn't mean I was going to be getting it back tenfold. So that's a huge reframe that I've started living by, and that I really repeat to myself really often. And it's changed a lot of things in our life. And you can see some of the results that I've gotten on the page for Money is Your Boyfriend. I listed out personally the results that I have gotten just since doing this sort of work, and in addition to the results that my clients have gotten from doing this sort of work. And there's a whole page full of them already, and I've only just begun. So anywhere from like unexpected bonuses from my company that like apparently never does that, or there was I had a like multiple 5-figure early pension payout that just came out of nowhere, that I came literally like this close to missing out on because I didn't get the email, and my address wasn't updated because it was a company I worked for in my 20s, and they were offering early pension buyout. So like all these certain things can come up that you don't even know, you can't even imagine where they'd come from. And all you have to do is be open to the fact that that's possible for you too. So number 2 way to make money your boyfriend right now is to be playful with it, right? So imagine you're dating someone that you are going out with, and it's like pretty new, right? If you're currently in the dating scene, then this is fresh in your memory. If, you're an old married person like me, then you can probably remember what that was like. Okay, so would you want to go out with somebody who kind of bores you to tears during the dinner, like never can think of anything nice to say about anything, and just kind of like, hey, how's it going? Kind of, complains about stuff like nonstop during your whole dinner, and doesn't show up when it's supposed to, and doesn't like count on you when he's supposed to, and forgets to call you. And I don't know, just kind of like leaves you in the dust, like most of the time, like leaving you sitting there on the back burner. Well, imagine that you in that scenario are the money that you have, right? So if that's the way that you're treating money too, then you know how crappy that feels, as opposed to being playful about it, right? Like thinking of new ways and thinking of all the possibilities and playing this like imagine if game, right? So one of the things that I recently heard is the $100 bill game, right? So you take a $100 bill. If you don't have one, you can just write one out. Maybe I'll create one of those fake checks you can print out and start like practicing with all the play money, which, crazy enough, I'm going to dork out a little sciencey right now, but your subconscious brain doesn't have any clue whether or not what you're talking about or imagining is real. It goes with the story that you're telling it. So if you're playing with an imaginary check and you are feeling the feelings and imagining that it's actually yours, then your brain is telling yourself that that is actually true, and it's bringing you into that vibration of it already being true. So it's pretty cool how that works, because we can literally trick ourselves into believing that things have already accomplished and already come to fruition, and that actually gets us to the goals faster because we're already getting our belief behind it in a natural and organic way. So if you're trying to be playful about money and you take a $100 bill, carry it with you, put it in your pocket, and look around every day at all the things that you could use it for. Like you could use it for tickets to go to, well, God, if you're me, it has to be like, that's exactly right. Think rich and grow richer. I love it. This Friday we get to go. I caught myself there. Did you see that? We get to go to Monster Jam. Yay. For the second time this year. But my 3-year-old absolutely loves it, and it is the Monster Jam World Final. So it is happening like 2 hours from where we live, and I couldn't pass it up, because seeing that little guy so happy makes me happy. And as long as I'm spending money on things that make me happy and make us happy and actually makes our environment better, then I'm good with it. So being playful, like, you can pretend you're going to buy tickets with that $100. You could use it towards a new luggage bag to go traveling with, like, I don't know, maybe a new handbag or a new bathing suit. It's going to be summertime. Or use it to pay down bills if that makes you feel so good. But be more playful around money, and then it'll make you start to get, in that playful attitude about it, where you start feeling better about money, and then you start attracting more instances to feel even better about it too, which will bring circumstances and events and all kinds of things that you can't even imagine, because it's not your job to make it happen. Just all these opportunities naturally start coming, and you just have faith that they do. And it works. It absolutely works. I am 100% person that you can use as an example of it working for. I was talking to my husband actually, just not that long ago. We were, looking at our bank account, and it is over the course of a year and a half, we've tripled what we had in there before. And I'm not working any harder than I was before. It's just there's things that happen that come out of nowhere, that once you start having this higher elevated vibration around money and the feelings around money, and you start noticing these opportunities coming around, it absolutely starts to manifest for you. So it's all about practicing all of that feeling and really using, it's like a muscle that you have to keep using, or else you're going to lose it, right? So let's see. The next one, number 3, my third tip on how to make money your boyfriend right now. So we've had watch the words you use about it, be playful about it, and number 3 is be specific and have a purpose around it. So for example, if your date wanted to take you out to dinner and said, what kind of food do you want? And in your head, you're like, oh God, I can't eat pizza one more time. And I really don't eat raw fish. So I don't want pizza or sushi. But you say, oh, I don't care, whatever. You take me wherever. I wouldn't ever want to say anything specific, because then you might turn me down, and then you might not like me, and then you might blah, 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 reject me. Well, that's what you're doing to money too. If you're not saying to money, this is what I want to manifest, and this is why. These are my feelings behind it, and this is how it would make me feel, and what it would allow me to accomplish, and how it would make my life and my family's life and my kids' life, or whatever the case may be, your future, a better place, or your neighborhood, your community, the local dog shelter. I don't care what you use your money for. That's your business. But if you have a purpose for it and you're specific, then you're really going to end up getting what you want a whole lot faster, because the other option leads you to discounting yourself before you even begin, and agreeing to things outside of yourself that you don't even have your heart behind, right? You're not even aligned with. So this goes all the way back to being aligned with what we want to have, and then allowing it to come to us. And by allowing it to come to us, we naturally receive it, and we naturally receive it a whole lot easier. So number 4, this is a good one. Be open to options, right? So how many times did you grow up thinking, oh, well, maybe it's not even you might have a friend. I've always had a friend like this, where it was I can only date a guy that's over 6 feet tall, and he has to have brown hair, and he has to know karate or something like that. I was always really? Do you not think that guy could be good for you? Because I know him, and he's really cool, and I think you guys would be great. No. He's 5'11" and a half, and that's not going to work for me. So I'm okay, whatever. You do you, boo, whatever. But listen, this goes back to always asking about how's this going to happen? And I need it to happen through my job, or I need to happen through my new coaching business, or whatever, way that you're completely attached to your desire manifesting, and it has to happen that one way. Well, again, that brings up a lot of resistance. So if you're not open to options of how it can come through, there's a million different ways that your desires and your money can come through. You just have to be open to how that might happen, right? You have to be open to the many multiple ways. Think back to the story I told you earlier about the random early pension buyout that happened. That company is a gigantic company. that never hardly happened. Like in the 20 years that had passed, I had never like seen that happen before, but it just came out of nowhere, and it's really surprising, and you don't even like expect it. But that's also like, I remember at the time I was like hardcore listening to The Secret like nonstop because I had not discovered podcasts. This is like several years ago. And I remember thinking, okay, I'd like X amount of money. Wouldn't it be cool if I could like, man, I could get like, let's just say like $40,000. And I mean, that's not the amount that it was. It was actually even more than that. But $40,000, and we could like travel the world or buy a house or do this or pay for college for our kids or whatever. And I remember it was just kind of like an in and out, and like, oh, that'd be really cool. Imagine if that happened. Well, lo and behold, I'm talking to a former manager, and he says, hey, did you get that piece of mail? Like, did you hear about the early pension buyouts? You should check into it. Mine was over however amount of XYZ dollars for him. He'd been with the company, been a manager for longer. So I tell you this story because I never would have even thought about that possibility. And there's all ways that this can come through. There's a million different ways that money can come through. If you struggle with this, maybe go and get out your journal and start writing down all the ways that you think that it could. So you've got your job, obviously, or you've got a job that you want to have, or maybe there's like an old iPhone sitting in your drawer. That's like a couple $100. Go cleaning out all of your drawers in your house. Like we went through this and that money challenge. If you haven't done it already, the money challenge I hosted last week. Think of all the different ways you could be like stuffing dollars here and there, and go check through your house, check through your purses, check through your car, your old car, maybe your kids' pockets. You never know like what in the world this all could have come from. So my point is, there's a million different ways that the money can come from and come through, and you can't just be connected to one way, because that goes back to the how. You've got to really release all expectations of how it's going to come through and be open to more options, because the options are beyond you. You couldn't even imagine all the different ways that it's going to happen for you. So, and it's not just through your job, and it's not just through like your grandmother like passing away and leaving you money, or lottery, or whatever the case. Like those are all things that are outside of you. True, but there's a million other better ways that it can come through, and it's up to the universe and God and the angels to get it to you the way that it's intended and the easiest. We call it the path of most allowance, or also known as the path of least resistance, right? So that is the case. So be open to options. Like there's never just one route for the money to come through. There's always so many ways. So like it's really up to the universe to bring that to you in the way that it is intended, and you give up the how. Just have faith that it's happening for you, and it will, right? So that brings us to number 5 ways on how to make money your boyfriend right now. So we did watching the words that you use for it. It was be playful with it, be specific and have a purpose for your money and if it's your boyfriend, and also be open to options. Number 5 is, and this is my favorite because you know how much I like to celebrate, be sure to celebrate all of your milestones, however big or small, right? We all know that couple that has been together like 7 years and still celebrates every single month that they've ever been together, or first date that they went on, or first time they talked, or first time she like, I don't know, cooked him dinner, whatever the case may be. Like these little milestones that are just usual, like everyday things to most people, become gigantic deals to these, couples. And a lot of times the relationships might be even better, right? They feel great about each other. They're constantly celebrating each other. They're able to like be happy about the smallest little things, right? And so remembering these little details really helps to create that connection and create the great feelings and create more of these little little circumstances that then bring you even bigger things down the road. It's called, some people like to call, exactly, Angela, the little things are the big things. I agree 100%. You got it right. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to celebrate you. So you've got to be able to celebrate all these little things that happen. In like the, spiritual community, they call it the vibrational escrow, right? So like you're building up this like great feeling and great feeling and great feeling till it eventually, like, the avalanche happens, and then all these wonderful things start trickling to you, and you literally can't keep up with the flow of it coming towards you because you've became such a match for it, and you've opened yourself up and you've allowed the receiving to happen. And so you start noticing all of the great things, and you start seeing all of the great things coming, which brings even more great things to you. And I mean, you just, at that point, you are like an A+ student, and you don't even need my course, right? So so those are my top 5 tips. If you haven't checked out Money is Your Boyfriend yet, please go on there and check if you're being called to include it. If you enjoyed this little synopsis, my top 5 tips, I really love it. It's a topic I love to talk about. We've had some really great results so far with some of the previous students that took it last round, and even up into like a couple $1,000 that was manifested out of nowhere, like new business ideas that have come to fruition that are actually really good in like doubling the amount of money that they made in their previous job. And you just learn how to reprogram your money mindset. Now that I have become an NLP practitioner this time around, I've added some really cool bonuses and some really fun exercises there that really solidify your, the getting rid of a lot of the limiting beliefs and things that are holding you back or blocking you from some of the money trying to get to you. And it's a lot of things, it's, all the things that are based out of a lot of study and modeling techniques and being able to, model people who are successful, who have gotten to where you want to be. One of them now, and this might be interesting to Angela to know, that I am a licensed, board certified clinical hypnotherapist now. So I actually develop hypnoses for people who are looking for self-development. My husband actually is a clinical hypnotherapist too, and he's worked with some people on smoking cessation, with weight loss, with personal development. And so what I've done is I've incorporated a winning at wealth hypnosis for all of the people who or become like students of the Money is Your Boyfriend course. It's only reserved for them, and it's designed to make you a master manifester of money and abundance, and really attract in like supercharged ways through the winning at wealth hypnosis that comes with this course. So there's also going to be, in addition to this, a special live session on quantum manifesting, and that's going to happen in the 4th week of the course, and that comes with with the entire course, and it's going to stay with it forever. So as always, if you join Money is Your Boyfriend, then you have lifetime access, and then anything else that I add later on down the road is automatically added into your little membership portal, so you always have access to it. Hi Jenny, hi Karen, how are you guys doing? But I'm really excited that you guys all joined. I hope you enjoyed my top 5 ways to make money your boyfriend right now. And so get out there, enjoy that relationship with your money, and I will be seeing you again. Love you, mean it. Bye. See ya. Loved this episode of the Makeover Your Mindset podcast? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated so more high vibe people like you can find us. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.